My name is Noon, I'm 17, and I'm black. I moved from Sudan, a predominantly black country in Africa, 4 years ago. Racism has instilled itself so deep into the fabric of our society that almost every modern culture in the world has anti-black aspects. And yes, that includes the cultures of black people. This proves true to me because even though during my time in Sudan I never had to worry about what it felt like to be a minority, I was still conditioned to hate myself and to want to change every Afrocentric feature about myself. In this world, I know that no matter what, there are people out there that hate me that don't even know I exist. This is a fact that I've always known. This is a fact that I'll continue to live with. We need to not only stand against police brutality against black people in America and the UK, but also stand in solidarity with black people across the world, to show that enough is enough. This racism drilled so deep into our minds that we aren't even aware of its presence is no longer going to win. Black Lives Matter means so much to so many people. To me, it finally brings light to the disgusting anti-blackness still prevalent throughout the world today. It brings light to the injustices black people still have to go through, our experiences both in America and globally. It brings light to the system made to keep us in check, the system that allows police officers to get away with murder. My name is Noon, I'm 17, and I'm black. It always feels like no one's listening. Listen to me now. My name is Noon, it's 2003, and I haven't been born yet. People that look like me are facing the unimaginable. There's a system in place designed to break me down until I don't want to be black anymore. My name is Noon, I'm 5, and I'm black. I'm in England, and the teacher is talking about how people in Africa are starving and we should be more grateful. I start crying thinking that my family in Sudan is starving, and she tries to get me to stop, saying, no, it's not my family. I don't know this yet, but people are only willing to bring up the struggles of black people when it benefits the point they're trying to make. Only a few actually care. I know that I'm different from the other people in my class. My name is Noon. I'm 6 and I'm black. I'm called to the principal's office because they want to know how to spell my sister's name. A girl in my class told her that she didn't want a piggyback ride from her because her skin was made of poo, and now she's being made to write an apology letter. At the time, it's entertainment and I laugh. I know exactly what she meant, but I still laugh. A few years later, I'm not laughing anymore. My name is Noon, I'm 7 and I'm black. I'm in Sudan now. Everyone looks like me. My uncle asks us if we're jealous of our cousin because she's lighter than us. My cousin was 6 months old at the time. It doesn't really make sense at first, but slowly it begins to. I don't know this yet, but this is where I begin to hate myself. My name is Noon, I'm 8 and I'm black. I refuse to admit to people that I am Sudanese, despite the fact that I live in Sudan. I say that by the law, I am Irish because of my passport. For some reason, admitting my heritage was disgusting to me. For some reason, it was better to be European than it was to be African. You know the reason. My name is Noon, I'm 9, and I'm black. There's a white girl in my year. Everybody loves her, everybody wants to be her friend, all the boys are simping over her. She says to me, if you're Irish, then why is your hair like that? In my mind, I know that they like her more than me and the other girls because she's white. But also in my mind, that makes complete sense. My name is Noon, I'm 10 and I'm black. My grandma relaxes my hair as a gift for my birthday for the first time. She doesn't ever relax my sister's. It's not as curly. She says to me, it looks a lot better now. I'm happy to no longer have ugly, curly hair. I get many compliments. I don't know this yet, but I'm going to regret this when I'm older. I relaxed my hair for the next 3 years. Nothing was ever wrong with my hair before. My name is Noon, I'm 11 and I'm black. I'm becoming much more aware of racism. I'm becoming much more aware of what the real world is like. And I'm 11. I'm 11. But for some reason, I still relax my hair and a part of me still wants to be white. I completely cut myself off from anything that is stereotypically black. I think that I'm better than my classmates because I don't listen to rap music. My teacher, who is white, says that he's sick of people blaming the issues in Africa on white people. I'm angry, but I can't find the words to say why. I know why now. My name is Noon, I'm 12, and I'm black. There's something in my head pitting me against the teachers at my school who are not white or don't speak English as a first language. In the school, your worth as a teacher was determined by your heritage or your accent. There was an extra effort made to get teachers from the West. We have a Sudanese science teacher with a heavy accent. As a class, we complain. My mother goes through the notes with me and tells me that they're all correct. They all make sense. It starts to make sense to me as well why I thought he was such a bad teacher. There's something about the way that I measured his intelligence by his ability to speak English with a proper accent that made me feel guilty. I'm still guilty. My name is Noon, I'm 13, and I'm black. I stopped relaxing my hair, and it hurts. I know all these things about racism, I know all these things about what's right and wrong. I'm opinionated, I know my morals, and I'm 13. The boys in my year like white girls. They send pictures of them into our year group chat, and even though I say racism is bad, I'm glad to be black, it still makes me wish a little bit that I was white. In my head, I'm never going to have to deal with anything more than the hatred that I have for myself. I live in Sudan and everyone looks like me. The end of that summer, I moved to Ireland. I spent hours upon hours looking up racism in Ireland, Islamophobia in Ireland, black people in Ireland. No one is going to look like me. My name is Noon. I'm still 13 and I'm still black. I'm in Ireland. There are 2 other black girls in my year. On my first day of school, someone asked me if I'm related to one of them. I had never met these girls before in my life. People are impressed that I, from Africa, am so well-spoken, so literate, so educated. People say, wow, she's so pretty, and for some reason, it's a shock. I've spent my entire life up to this point wanting to be white, and now I'm being praised for the very features I was taught to hate. In my mind, my ideals are set in stone. I will not let anyone disrespect me, and I will not let anyone say the N-word. We read of mice and men in English. Everyone says the N-word. My name is Noon. I'm 14 and I'm black. People, my friends even, have said the N-word to me and I've had to let it slide. I want to conform. I want to not make people uncomfortable with my discomfort. I say, don't say that. Quietly. I let my white friends defend me. It's easier when they do it than when I do. I'm reminded every day by myself that I'm different. All my rage and bitterness are kept within me. Maybe it's because I was never particularly used to being a minority. I go to my history class. They skip over slavery. It's not in the curriculum. I say, what the fuck? My name is Noon. I'm 15 and I'm black. I go to the cinema with my sister to watch the new Black Panther movie. A group of teenagers sit next to us and begin to make fun of the accents of the characters. We hear them refer to the characters as the N-word. We hear them mock their accents and plaster all over their social media. But there's no racism in Ireland. They ask us where we're from. We say Sudan. They laugh. The summer of this year, a group of girls do blackface in Wexford. A group of girls do blackface in Wexford. It's almost so ridiculous I have to laugh. All of the black people I know are outraged. In silence. Do you know how hard it is to stand up to something as a minority with the potential backlash you'll get from literally everybody else? I'm reminded once again that if I stand up against racial issues, I not only risk upsetting people, but I risk losing my friends. I'm in a constant inner battle between remaining true to my ideals and cultivating meaningful friendships. I forsake everything I've ever believed. I forgive and forgive and forgive. It's more acceptable for my white friends to be actively outraged by racism than it is for me. I know the reason. I don't say it. My name is Noon. I'm 16 and I'm black. I've heard the N-word so many times that I'm no longer surprised when I hear people say it. There's a certain exhaustion I have in every reaction to yet another person being racist. I've heard all of the jokes. I'm not laughing. I don't want to do it anymore. I find solace in the other people in Wexford, but it's not enough. I'm tired of explaining myself over and over and over again. I used to say, people don't know any better. But there comes a point when people don't want to know any better. My school wants to present me as a diversity statistic. They want me to do the Culture Day Fair so they can show on the newspaper just how beautifully diverse this institute is. I'm reminded of every single time I've heard the N-word in the halls as girls sing along to their favorite songs. I'm reminded of the month of English class I had to endure in which the N-word was constantly being said, in which it was on the walls, on the board. I'm reminded of the teacher that defended blackface. I'm reminded of the constant portrayal of Africans by the school as poor, needy, helpless, uneducated. We need to help them. And the suffocating silence that came with my anger. I'm reminded of each time I've been asked to explain things to people that I've already spoken to them about. I'm reminded of the sheer panic that I have felt when I'm explaining something to one of my friends and in their eyes I can see that they disagree. I'm reminded of how exhausted I am. I put on a smile. I do the Culture Day Fair. A teacher comes up to me and says, "Wow, and they said you weren't doing it." People only ever want to acknowledge our differences when it benefits them, when it's easy to accept. My name is Noon. I'm 17 and I'm Black. There's a part of me that can never feel confident within myself because I am not white. I hear about racist attacks everywhere, including Ireland. I think about when my mother worked here 20 years ago, people refused to be treated by her. I think about the way I've seen people look down on my father when he speaks to them in an accent that isn't as prim and proper, despite the fact that he's a respected doctor. I've been absorbing racist videos, racist people, racist comments, racist media, racist stereotypes, and racism for the past 17 years. Racism is a system. It is not just an individual comment made to a person of color. It is something that we've been forced to grow up with. It is everywhere. It is self-hatred. It is stereotypes so deeply ingrained into people's minds that they can't even begin to understand why they are wrong. It is being less likely to get a job. It is being more likely to be seen as a thug, as uneducated, as aggressive. It is being only seen as a diversity statistic. It is being unable to find yourself in modern media. It is wondering if people you like Black people. It is clinging onto any representation of yourself you find. It is a sinking feeling you get when you realize someone is about to say something insensitive, and you are going to have to choose between having friends and having morals. My name is Noon. I'm 17, and I will not censor myself. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black people are being murdered on the street. Black people are being taught to hate themselves from a young age. Black people are being taught everything they've ever had to go through around the world and being told to get over it. Black people are being called sensitive, that they are overreacting to 400 years worth of oppression. This is about George Floyd. This is about Philando Castile, Eric Garner, Sandra Bland, Tatiana Jefferson, David McAtee, Trayvon Martin, Breonna Taylor, Yassine Muhammad. This is about Elijah McClain. This is about me and the Black people who are here and the Black people who aren't here. This is about dismantling this culture that has allowed us to suffer in silence. This is about destroying this idea that race doesn't apply anymore. This is about the unjust racism Black people have been facing for centuries that is swept under the rug because it's in the past. If it's in the past, what are all of these dead bodies? Who are all of these people begging for reform? You can say that Ireland doesn't have that much racism. That much is still some. That much is still contributing to the rest of the world, and this denial is what is killing us. And I'm tired, but I am Black and I am loud and I am proud, and I will fight and advocate for every Black person in the world just as I know they would for me. Just as I know they are for me. Black lives matter. People can inhale Black culture, absorb Black music, idolize Black artists, say that they're not racist, but use the N-word and refuse to listen to any Black person that tells them otherwise. But they can't fight for Black people? They don't have that decency? Funny. If you are silent during times of oppression, then you have taken the side of the oppressor. My name is Noon. I'm 17, and I'm Black. Does my life matter?